Hello viewers, it's Super GT here. Welcome back to some straight up Forza Motorsport 6 gameplay. Yes, it's been quite a while actually since I've just posted some proper, actual, straight up, unadulterated racing. Quite a lot of dirt content recently. So I thought I'd just jump online, see what we can conjure up for you. And well, here we are at Yas Marina, our favourite circuit. Now, I don't think I've ever in the whole history of racing ever had a decent race around here. Now I am just going to tap GTR South a little bit wide there, push him over the white lines, the track limits, but you're going to let him retake the lead or just keep the lead there. Now we had a couple of really good races, myself and GTR South here. We're just going to run away pretty much from everyone else, but at least our cars were very evenly matched, and it seems like the drivers were fairly matched as well. So I'm driving the Porsche Carrera GT up the outside, a little bit late on the brakes though, and he is driving the trusty Ford GT. Now both of these cars seem very even actually, maybe a little bit different, tiny bit different acceleration, braking, top speed, but on the most part very even actually, and that made for some very good racing. Now coming up into the tricky chicane section, it's so hard this bit. I mean, this first curve really just catches your car. You see that just go flying off to the right and yeah, lose a little bit of time. So he's just actually got away a little bit there. I've lost maybe a second or so. Just looking at the map, we are well clear of third place, so no threat there. So just basically focusing on the race between each other, trying to muller the curbs as much as possible. This section just feels so clumsy sometimes. I really don't like the flow of this last section. Actually, I agree with Kimi Räikkönen entirely when he says that the first sector is kind of okay, but then the rest is just shit, really. I think those were his words. So as we come up to the final turn, that's lap number 1. In the books, we turn to lap number 2. Just a 3-lap race for you, coming across the line. So yeah, about a second or so down. But obviously we have some time left to try to regain that gap. I'm not going to cut any of this race, so you can see the entire thing from start to finish. I don't often do that, I don't think. Try and save a bit of time on the videos, but this one is going to be a fairly long video. We're going to go for about 18 minutes, and you can see most of the stuff here. See exactly how I race. So yeah, a little bit of a corner cut there. Sometimes it's hard though to actually be completely perfect when you're trying to push the limits as much as possible. Sometimes you will accidentally cut them, sometimes you'll fall short and won't cut them. So yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes, I guess, when you're trying to push as much as possible. I've got a decent run on the inside now. As you can see, I think once the Ford GT hits its stride, it is slightly quicker in a line, and on the brakes maybe I've gone in a little bit early on the brakes there, and he's just going to slot in around the outside back into the lead. A little bit slidey on the exit, but must learn to try and tame that. This tune is by Car Lightning. Put his name in the description. A little bit slidey on the exit, as I just said, but if you can tame that, overall it's a very fast car for this, which is S-Class. Now South going a little bit deep into the chicane, but it's really hard to pass through there unless you're fully committed, and I just send one up the inside there, and he kind of just gives me all the room I need to complete that move. So I'm up into the lead, pretty much halfway through the race now. So let's see if I can try and maintain that to the end. Just going on the curb again, quite nicely done there, hooking up with the curb on the inside. I think you just have to throw the car in quite early around this section, especially this corner. I don't actually go in quite early there. Just push out to the wall on the outside, maximum traction. Last couple of corners. Yeah, but yeah, this section, it just has no soul really. It just a load of 90-degree corners. It's very boring indeed. That's why it's a cool facility, definitely. I mean, they've clearly put a lot of money into this track, but it just doesn't have any soul really at all. Right, okay, first corner, and again slightly on the exit, but I've got track position. Sometimes if you are a little bit slower, just put your car in the middle of the track, and the other guy really can't do anything. As you can see there, he's poking his nose into the bottom of the screen. but because I'm in the way, there's nothing much he can do. On the brakes, throw it in, trail brake into there, a little bit deep though, and actually get a very poor line for the second apex, and then into the hairpin. I'm going to try and keep him on the outside. He's looking for the cutback, so I'm just going to make sure that he can't do that, and just about get it right. So up the main, I call this the main straight, it's not really the main straight, it's the longest straight I'm pretty sure, with a very important braking zone at the end of it, where you can lose a lot of time if you get it wrong. So just braking halfway between the first two boards, and again maybe tiny bit conservative, but without that braking line I don't really have any assurance of exactly where the braking point is. Perhaps I should have worked out in the first 2 laps, but at least I haven't made a completely stupid error and gone way wide. So this is lap 3, we are coming up to the end, and it's still a very good race between us. We are still within half a second of each other at this late stage, and he's got a poor run on the exit there. I'm just going to throw it around the outside, gives me the inside for the last part of that chicane. I'm back up into the lead. Is there going to be any time for him to come back? It will probably require a mistake or something, as we then come up into the hotel section a little bit early on the curb there, throw around for the second apex, and then on the brakes the curb is just going to ruin my life, and hand south first place. I go a little bit deep as I rejoin there. But again, looking at the map, I think we're a good 10-15 seconds ahead of third place, which is absolutely ridiculous. And it's not like we're even cutting the track or anything. It just shows you when you've got a good car and you know what you're doing, there is so much time to be gained over the rest of the drivers in the lobby. But there we go, through the final turn, and it's going to be a second place, but you know what, it doesn't matter that much. It was a good race from start to finish with respect, so that's all that matters really. If I finish second, then that's all good. I'd rather finish 8th in a really good, respectful race than first in a crap race. So this is the second race we were involved in together, Road America this time. Now, off the line we both go immediately into first and second, and it's going to stay that way. Us two are going to be in first and second, but as for which one, that is going to change. As you can see here, I'm just going to get a run on the exit of turn 2 and take the lead. Third place is again just going to go miles behind, and then as we come up to the next turn, just trying to work out my braking point once again. I think it goes a little bit deep, so this affords me the opportunity for a cutback. As you can see there, haven't quite got the run, but well, I'm just going to throw out the inside basically, hope for the best, go a little bit deep, and I can't get on the exit, on the throttle on the exit, as I was a little bit deep, so he retakes the lead there. So then on lap number 2, it's a similar story actually. I think he just about caught the grass, and maybe his upshift wasn't that good, because he lost a bit of momentum there just on the exit of the curb. I'm going to get a run on the outside once again, and then get my braking point a little bit better this time, a tiny bit later, and it needs to be a bit later because I'm on the outside. I can just throw the car around the outside, give him a car length or car width, sorry, on the inside. And if you're on the outside in that situation, you can just get on the throttle that a little bit earlier, and then probably get into the lead. I just cut across him there, go a little bit wide on the exit, looking for the shadow of the tree, and then bam on the brakes as we go into this left-hander before the carousel. So then this corner here, not very good overtaking opportunity. If I just hang it on the inside line, there's very little he can do. It's a very long way around the outside if he wants to go for the outside pass. We're doing the alternate version here, so you're looking for the bridge. That's your braking point, but I actually go a little bit early there, and I think I caught him out. He's going to go up flying up the inside. He's just going to brake though. Let me go back. So I mean, that's very sportsmanlike behaviour. And then on the exit, just get caught on the grass and just graze that tyre wall. It's amazing how many victims that tyre wall does claim if you get it wrong there. So then coming up to the last couple of corners of lap number 2, braking between the 4 and 5 boards on the left hand side, and that's beautifully done. Hooking up with the apex, just taking some contact though, just going to slide it through the corner and retain first place. You've got to go in very early for that corner, run out wide over the extra tarmac there, and then into the final turn. This is a very tricky one to get right on the entry, and then again just use the exit curb to get maximum drive back out onto the straight. And then on lap number 3, this is the first corner, just totally misjudging my braking point, and then South is just going to go through there. So once again, just like Yas Marina, a very, very close race from start to finish, we pretty much just cannot be separated. So these cars are very, very evenly matched, and both ones that I would definitely recommend for use in S-Class. I mean, you've seen many videos where I've used the 4GT, tuned by yours truly, thank you JSR Lee Campbell. Now this car, by Car Lightning, pretty much just about as good as well. I guess I could say thank you Car Lightning. But then through the next turn, around the outside once again, and then I've just got a small run there, and he's not going to be too brave on the brakes. I'm just going to hold it around there and get on the accelerator a little bit earlier this time, and I'm able to just maintain first place, taking that corner very nicely indeed actually. As we come downhill, look for the tree once again, there we go. Just grazing two wheels on the grass. That's going to throw me a little bit wide. Now he's got a run around the outside. I've just about got my nose alongside though, so I am on the inside line here. Just going to try and just hem him out to the outside, and just about done it. Got to be very patient for that turn, and a little bit late on the brakes this time. It's a little bit deep, but I didn't really trail brake into the corner, which I perhaps should have done. Two wheels over the grass there to hook me around a little bit better. I'm just about going to maintain the lead, and then a couple of corners later, this is coming up to the final turn of the race. Just throw it in, brake in where that shadow is from the sign, apexing beautifully, trying to avoid the rock solid Mobile 1 board, which will destroy your life if you hit those things. And well, he's just going to settle behind me, 30 feet between us at the line, 30 feet after 7 minutes of racing. That's really quite insane. And again, a beautiful race between us. Now we're going to go to something a little bit more messy, and again I'm just going to show you the whole thing, start to finish. Mustang's just going to come flying across. I'm not sure he had to take that much evasive action to get past the car that didn't start, but oh well. 14th out of 21, again in the Carrera GT. The paint, by the way, is by Mesasphere. I'll put his name in the description. There's GTR South facing the wrong way in the Jaguar on the first corner apex. So let's see what we can do then. Through the smoke, a couple of cars round, and this guy, I'm sorry, I'm just going to hit him there. Just grinding himself against that wall. And then onto the bridge. I'm in 6th place. Oh no, up into 5th place now. I'm going to aim for better than 6th place. And then up the inside of the Porsche. He kind of cut across last second there. I was a bit worried. And then the Audi R8 is going to take a weird line, and I'm going to take a weird line over the curb. Yeah, whatever. Let's just go on with it. Out of the tunnel, braking just as you exit the tunnel. A little bit deep, but not quite trail braking enough into there. And then we have the next right hand. I do like Prague actually. I think this is quite a decent track. Out of all the fantasy tracks, I think this is probably one of my favourite ones. Well, one of the better ones anyway. It just seems to have a nice flow to it. A little bit better than Rio. Rio though, I do think it's a decent track. It's just a little bit broken, I think, with some of the curbs and some of the walls. They're a bit messed up. But anyway, coming uphill into this large, long right-hander, very wide indeed. So you can actually get on the throttle very early and actually don't get on as early as I could have done. So maybe you're losing a little bit of time there. First and second, they're about 1,000 feet ahead of me. So a little bit of a catching up job to do here. But I'm going to show you, of course, the whole thing, so you can see exactly how I go about it. So this point here, I've not really got a challenge from behind, so there's no point in thinking about that. It's just about hot lapping, just making sure you hit your points, and sometimes you're not trying to set the absolute best lap time to try and catch up. You're just trying to be as smooth and efficient as possible. People just always make mistakes in these online races. And if you just simply get around cleanly without making mistakes, you probably will catch up with a lot of people. So you see they're pushing the walls, not too close, but still trying to be quick. And then again, through that section, the car flows very nicely. Once you've got some decent speed going in this car, yeah, it feels very rooted to the ground. It's just the lower speed corners on the exit. It does seem to have a lot of power. As you can see there, catching up already, just going to graze the wall. Almost go into the wall as we entered the tunnel. Very lucky just to avoid that. Trail braking into that corner a little bit better. I think it's a Viper ahead of us, and I'm not sure what the car in the lead is. But we are definitely catching up with them. It's only been half a lap since we were over 1,000 feet away. Now it's about 200-300 feet. So definitely getting the job done here. As we come over the crest, you want to turn just before that crest to get the car pointed. The car will go light as you go over the other side of the crest, so it's not best to turn there. Kind of just turn just before. Going a little bit deep on the uphill corner, but again it's quite wide, so you can just get on the throttle quite early. This one, the car will hook you round. I just grazed the inside wall. A lot of camber there, which will help the car go around that corner. Going over the jump, and then into the last couple of corners. You can throw it around this corner. I often go very deep into this turn, but again, just trail brake in. So for those of you who don't really know what I'm talking about when I say trail brake, you're turning in whilst you're braking, and that is a really solid technique that you have to learn if you want to become really, really fast. I'm not saying that I'm really, really fast, but the best drivers will all use that technique where you just go in on the brakes while turning. It's probably the fastest way to take most turns in a lot of cars. So that's a solid move on the Viper up into second place at the start of lap number 3, and we have a BBLM ahead of us to try and overtake in 1 lap. Let's see if we can go about doing that. So again, a very nice run onto the bridge. You can see that I've got some momentum here. Is it going to be enough as we go into the next turn? Probably not, as we just go in on the brakes. I think the Ferrari BBLM is a very good car all round for S-Class. One of the better ones actually. So into the tunnel, you can see just how good his acceleration is as he drives out of the tunnel. Going a little bit deep on the brakes, but we can cut back there and get a straighter exit, which does help in this car actually because of how slidey it is on the power. So just going to go for another late apex to give me a better drive on the exit of the turn. Coming over the crest, again, just turn just before, or just at the peak of the crest, before you're coming down. We haven't got long left actually to try and get past this guy, so where is this overtake going to happen? It goes a little bit deep in there actually. That's going to afford me some, well, look at that, we're getting very close and actually getting a really good drive on the exit of that turn. And then make sure we can't do a cutback, just hold him off behind, taking a nice tight line on the exit of that turn. And then it's gonna require a very big lunge from him now to try and get past. So again, onto the brakes nice and early, throw it in, be patient on the throttle around this last turn, in 3rd gear on the exit, very beautifully done, no real spin at all. And we're going to come across the line to win the race, and there we go. So an actual race win for you guys. No 6th places in this video. Maybe I've improved. We'll see on that one maybe. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the longer video. A bit longer than normal. But yeah, subscribe if you'd like to see more like this, as always. And do hit the like button if you enjoyed. So that's all from me today, guys. Do let me know your thoughts on these races in the comments down below. I'll try to reply to as many of you as I can. And I shall see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.